Hello students, I am Dr. Chandrima Chatterjee, Assistant Professor of Economics at Nalsar University of Law. Welcome to this lecture. So today we will learn about a very important topic of quantitative techniques, that is ratio. So first I will define what is ratio, right? How to write a ratio between two variables, two or three variables, or how to express in different terms. Then we will learn some properties of ratio and how to calculate ratio and how to simplify a ratio. After that, we will learn some important formulas, okay, which is to be applied while solving numericals on ratio. And at the end, we will solve 2-3 basic numericals of ratio, and maybe in the next video we will solve some complicated numerical problems on ratio. So let us start with the topic ratio. So what is ratio? As it is, you can see from the slide that a ratio is comparison between any two quantities or amounts of two variables, right? By division. So we will always use division in expressing any ratio, right? It actually shows, suppose there are two quantities A and B, so it will actually show how many times A is to the another quantity B, or another amount or another variable B. So it actually represents one quantity in terms of other, right? So as I mentioned, if there are two numbers A and B or two quantities A and B, then the ratio is written as using a colon. So we will always use colon to express a ratio which is called A is to B. So this term, when you will pronunciate it, it will be called A is to B, right? Or A by B. So ratio can be expressed in different terms that I will show you in next slide. Now there are two important points. So three important terms are related to any ratio. First one is terms of ratio. So these two terms A, B, and if there are another term, suppose there are three terms, three quantities, I am calculating ratio between three quantities A, B and C, then all this will be called terms of the ratio, right? In case of two terms, suppose there are only two terms, that is A is to B, A colon B, which is called A is to B. So A will be called antecedent as it is mentioned here, and B will be called consequent. So antecedent and B, the second term, will be called consequent. In case of three terms, we will just call it first term, second term and third term. So just remember that in case there are two terms, the first term will be called antecedent and the second term will be called consequent, right? Now just an example for you. Suppose there is a class, there is a where there are both boys student and girl student. Suppose there are 20 boys student and 30 girl student, and I want to know the ratio of boys to girls in that particular class, right? So how I will write it? So it is nothing but actually the division of boys by division of boys by girls, right? So this ratio will be 20, the ratio of boys to girls. When I am writing boys to girls, so first I have to write in the numerator. So in a fraction, when you are writing, it is numerator, it is called numerator, and this is the it is called denominator, right? So in the numerator, I will first write the first term, the quantity, amount or number of first term, which is boys here. So there are only 20 boys, so I will write 20, and there are 30 girls, so I will write 30. So 20 by 30 will be my ratio of boys to girls, boys is to girls into that class. So I can further simplify it. So we will always try to express a ratio in its most simplified format. So I will just cancel this 0 0 and we will left with 2 by 3, or we can do this 2 by 3 can be expressed in this format also, which is called 2:3. So a ratio, you can see the ratio can be expressed in this 3 format: 2 by 3, okay, 2 divided by 3, then 2 by 3, and 2:3. So A divided by 3, A by 3, and A is to B, right? So ratio can be expressed in these 3 terms. Now if it was girls to boys, then the ratio was the ratio would have completely changed. It would have been 30:20 if I want to know the ratio between girls versus boy. Okay, we will explain it in more details in the next slide. So now we will learn about properties of ratio. So there are different properties of ratio. First is, a ratio is usually expressed in lowest term or simplest term, as I mentioned. So in the earlier case, we found that 20:30 is the required ratio, okay, of boys is to girls. We can simplify it just by simple division, applying division or simplification technique. So suppose there are 4:6. Okay, so how we can simplify it? We can divide both antecedent and consequent, both the first term and second term, by its greatest common divisor. So what is greatest common divisor? So suppose for 4, I will just factorize it, 2 into 2, and here 2 into 3. So what is the common divisor between these two? And if there are multiple common divisor, we have to consider the greatest one or the biggest one. So here it is 2, so we will divide it by 2. So 4 divided by 2 will give me 2, and 6 divided by 2 will give me 3. So the ratio, so the simplest form or lowest form term of this ratio 4:6 will be 2:3. So generally we always express a ratio in its lowest terms or simplest terms. Next property is, just I mentioned in the previous slide, that the order of the term is very important in case of expressing a ratio or writing a ratio. Just I mentioned that if you want to know what is the ratio between boys and girls, so it will be 20:30. But if you want to know what is the ratio between girls and boys, so first you want to you make girls as the first term, that is antecedent, and you keep boy as consequent, so the second term, then your ratio will also change. So now your ratio will be 30:20, because number of girl is 30 and number of boy is 20. So just it will be reversed when you will take reverse ratio. So girls is to boys will be the, when you are changing the order of these two quantities, your ratio will also be changed. So order of term is very important. Now your ratio is 30:20, which is simplified into 3:2, right? So order is also very important. Now coming to the next property. Our next property is, ratio exists only between quantities of same kind or same variable. Now what does that mean? Suppose you want to find out ratio number of students and salary of teachers. So these two are completely two different variables. Okay, so there is no meaning, no association, no logical connection between these two. Okay, so ratio, you can always calculate ratio of two quantities, two amount, which are of same kind, like boys and girls are students or they are person. Okay, so you can have a ratio between student and teacher, that is valid because both are some person. Okay, student and teachers ratio is valid because students also signify some human beings, okay, a group of human being, and teacher also represents a group of human being. But when you say salary of teachers, it is not a human being, right? But number of students represent here a group of human beings present in the class. So we can always have ratio of same kind or same variable, not of different kind or of different variable. So just keep this in mind. Second, fourth very important property is that ratio, and the most important property of ratio is that in a ratio, two quantities must be in same unit. What does that mean? Now suppose I have bought some rice, some quantity of rice, and my friend also have bought some quantity of rice. Now both are rice, so we can have a ratio. But suppose I have bought 200 gram of rice, whereas my friend has bought 5 kgs of rice. So I have bought 200 grams, and my friend has bought 5 kgs of rice. Now, since this two, although these are quantities of same kind like rice, but still we cannot have a valid ratio here because these two are expressed in two different units. So, to write a ratio, to write two quantities, convert two quantities into ratios, we always have to convert these two quantities in the same unit. So here units are different. For me it's grams, for my friend it is kg. So what I have to do, either I have to convert this 200 gram into kg, or I have to convert this 5 kg into, I have to express this 5 kg into gram. So it is better, I will take 5 kgs equal to 5000 grams, right? So that will give me, now I can, since both these quantities, my quantity and my friend's quantities are now in grams, so I can have a ratio. So my ratio, I is to my friend, my ratio by my friend's ratio is now 200 is to 5000. Okay, and if we further simplify it, so 0 0 0 0, so we will have 2 is to 50, which we can further multiply it, divide it by its greatest, by their greatest common divisor, which is 2. Then we'll get 1 is to 25. So 1 is to 25 is the ratio of rice purchased by me and to my friend, right? So always remember that whenever you are expressing any two quantities or any three quantities or amount or some factors in the form of ratio, both the terms should be in same unit. So that is a very important property. Now there are another very two important property is that if a ratio is, if both the term of ratio, that is antecedent and consequent, is multiplied by the same term, then there is no change in the actual ratio. And if they are divided by the same number, then also there is no change in the actual ratio. Suppose 2 is to 3, my initial ratio, and I will multiply both the term. So 2 is to 3 is my ratio, and I will multiply both the term by 4. Okay, so 2 into 4 8, and 3 into 4 12. So now my ratio is 8 is to 12, which is equivalent to 2 is to 3, because if you divide this ratio by its greatest common divisor, which is 4, you will brought back to this 2 is to 3, right? Same here, if you suppose we have to we have a ratio 4 is to 6, and if we divide it by 2, we will have 2:3. So 4:6 is actually equal to 2:3, because if you divide both this antecedent and consequent, first term and second term, by its greatest common divisor, right, you will get this 2:3 ratio. Okay, so these are another two properties of ratio. Now, how we will calculate ratio from any given amount? So, what are the technique of calculating ratio? What are the steps? So, in the first step, you have to first have information. First information which you need is about quantities or amount or numbers of both the scenarios. Just in case of our previous example, we have numbers of boys and girls, absolute numbers or absolute quantities of two scenarios for which you are determining ratio. Okay, so first step is you must have two quantities or two numbers of both the scenarios. Then you have to write it in this format. Either one part is to second part, antecedent is to consequent, or just here mentioned A by B, first part by second part. That also represents a ratio. Then if you can further simplify it by dividing its greatest common divisor, then you have to do the simplification and you will reach to the final ratio. Now, how can you simplify it? As I have shown earlier also, that to simplify a ratio, suppose A is to B, you are simplifying a ratio A is to B, you have to divide both the terms by its greatest common divisor. Greatest common why common divisor? Because there must be a common factor with which you can divide both the terms. Common divisor is the factor, the common factor, where you can divide both the terms by a common factor. It may be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And if there are multiple common factors you are getting, then you have to consider the biggest or greatest of that common divisor. Right? I will give you a very daily life example. Suppose you are making a cake, okay, and you need two major ingredients, sugar and flour. Two major ingredients of making cake is sugar and flour. Now suppose you need 4 cup of flour and 2 cup of sugar, right? So what will be my ratio if someone wants to know? What, suppose you are providing someone with recipe of making your cake, and someone wants to know what is the ratio of flour is to sugar, flour to sugar, what is the ratio? Then your ratio will be, since I have written flour at the first, so this is the my first term, which is antecedent. So 4:2 will be my ratio. So first I must have, first step 1, I must have quantities, absolute quantities of sugar and flour, which are measured in same units. You can see, if instead of 2 cups, if I mention 20 spoons, then that will not make any sense. You cannot convert it into ratio. So it must be both the quantities must be in same unit. Here my unit of measurement is cup, right? So I am measuring flour in cups and also sugar in cups. So flour by sugar ratio. So the first term here is flour. So I will consider 4:2. So sugar, number of cups required for sugar is 2. So 4:2 is my initial ratio. Now we can divide it by its greatest common divisor. So if I factorize this 2, so 4 I'll get 2 into 2, and here I will, if I further factorize it, the second term, I'll get 2 into 1, right? So 2 into 2, and in 2 into 1, the common greatest divisor is 2. So I will divide both this ratio by 2. So if I divide 4 by 2, I will get 2. And if I divide 2 by 2, I will get 1. So this is my final ratio. So we will always try to express the ratio in simplest form or lowest term. So this is how we can calculate a ratio and we can simplify it. Now there are some important formulas which you need to know. Suppose there is a number, total is given, total of something, total number of students in a class is given, and the ratio of boys and girls are given. So how you will find out the number of boys and number of girls? For this, these formulas are used. So suppose a number says Z, total, this is the total. So total is given, total number is Z, and it is to be divided into two parts. And what is the ratio that it will be divided? That is A is to B. Okay. Now what is the formula to find out the amount of first part or the number of first part and the number of second part? So it is A, so this A by, we need to find out the sum of the ratio. So this is called sum of the ratio, right? So here we have to apply, we have to find out the sum of the ratio. So to find out the first part, the number or quantity of first part is A, which is antecedent. So first, to find out the first part, we need to divide the first part of the ratio, that is A, by the sum of the ratio multiplied by the total number given. Okay, the entire number, that absolute total number given, we have to multiply it. Same for the second part, we have to do like this. So we have to consider the second part, that is B, second term actually, which is B, then divide it by sum of ratio and then multiply it by the total number given. A ratio can be, it can be a number Z can also be divided into 3 parts, 4 parts, and the ratio can be given in like this, A is to B is to C. So the same formula will be applicable, and here the sum of the ratio will be A plus B plus C. Since there are 3 terms, so the sum of the ratio will be A plus B plus C. So in order to find out when total number is given and you have to divide, you have to find out individual parts given from a given ratio like A is to B or A is to B is to C. You have to apply this formula. You have to find out the sum of the ratio. So let us see this, how we can apply this using a actual numerical problem, which will, I feel that if we solve this, it will be more, you will get a more clear picture about these formulas, right? So here sum of two number is given, total number is given, and the ratio in which these two numbers will be divided, that is also given. So this 3 corresponds to first number and this 2 corresponds to second number, right? So this 3 corresponds to first number, 2 corresponds to second number, and this is the ratio of two numbers. And sum of two numbers, in absolute terms, it is 60. So we will apply the same formula. So to find out the first number, just applying the same formula, what we have to do? First, we have to find out sum of the ratio. Don't get confused. This is sum of two numbers in absolute terms, and here we have to find out sum of the ratio. So sum of the ratio is 3 plus first term plus second term, which is 5. So sum of the ratio is 5. So as per the previous formula, as we seen, to calculate the first part, in this case first number, first we have to take the first term of the ratio. So first term of the ratio here is 3. So 3 by, then here we have considered the sum of the ratio. So sum of the ratio is 5 multiplied by the total number which is given. It will be given to you. So into total number here is 60. Right? Now you further simplify it. So here 60 is completely divisible by 5. Okay. So what is the divisor for it? So 5 into 12 will give us 60. So 60 is completely divisible by 5. So if we divide 5 by 60, it will give us 12. So 12 into 3 is 36. So the first number we got is 36. Now in the same way, we will calculate the second number. So second number is, we have to consider the second term. So 2 by the sum of the ratio. Sum of the ratio is 5 into 60, which is the total sum of the absolute two absolute numbers. And same, we will divide it. We'll divide 60 by 5, which is completely divisible, and 12 into 2 is 24. So my first number is 36 and second number is 24. And if you, for cross checking, if you take sum of these two numbers, 36 plus 24, it will give you 60. So in this way, using these formulas, you can find out, okay, two numbers or quantities of two parts. When the total is given, when the sum of some variables, two variables or two quantities are given, and you don't know what is the actual quantity of two parts, you only know the ratio. So from the ratio, you can calculate the individual parts. So here individually, first number is 36 and the second number is 24. Another example we will see. So here it is mentioned that the ages of three friends are in the ratio 5:6:7, and some of their absolute ages are given. So ratio of their ages of given. So what is given? Ratio of their ages is given and sum of their ages are given. So we have to find individual ages, right? So since 5:6:7 is our ratio, so 5 corresponds to first friend's age, 6 corresponds to second friend's age, and 7 corresponds to third friend's age. Now given this, we have to find out individual age. So for finding out individual age, what first we have to do? We have to find out sum of the ratio. So sum of the ratio is 5 plus 6 plus 7, which is nothing but 18, right? 5 plus 6 plus 7 is 18. Now we have to apply the previous formula. So first friend's age. So we have to consider the first term, that is 5 by the sum of the ratio, which is 18, into the total age or sum of the age of three friends, that is 54. So 5 by 18 into 54, okay, will give you first friend's age. Again, 54 is completely divisible by 18. So if you divide 54 by 18, you will get 3. So 5 into 3 will give you 15. So first friend's age is 15. Similarly, we will see second friend's age. For this, we have to consider the second term, that is 6 by the sum of these ages, sum of the ratio, sum of the ratio you will consider, and then sum of the ages, 54. Same, 18. If we divide 54 by 18, we will get 3, and 6 into 3 will give us 18. Same, third friend's age will be third term we have to consider, that is 7 by sum of the ratio 18 into 54, which will give us 18 into 3, 21. So now we have individual friends, ages of individual ages we have, right? From this ratio, given the ratio and sum of their total age, we have individual age. So if you just for cross checking, if you just add all these 3 ages of 3 friends, you will get 15 plus 18 plus 21. You will see you will get 54, because 8 plus 1 9, 9 plus 5 14. So 4 I will write, 1 will be in my hand. So 2 plus 1 3 plus 1 4, and 1 is there in my hand. So 4 plus 1 54. So you are getting exactly the sum of 54. So earlier you didn't know what was the exact individual ages. You only had this 2 information. You only had ratio, and you know the sum of the ages, absolute ages, but you didn't know the individual ages. Now by applying this formula, you can find out individual ages. So this is how we can find out, given ratio and given total quantity or total sum of some scenarios, some variables, we can find out individual portion or individual amount. Also, we have learned that given 2-3 quantities, how we can calculate ratio and we can simplify it. So that's all for today. This is all for today. In the next video, we will solve some more complicated numerical problems on ratio, and then we will learn another very important topic, which is proportion. So I hope this video will help you to solve numericals on ratio and practice as much as possible, as much numericals as possible, especially for today's lecture, ratio, right? So we will meet very soon. Thank you very much.